All right. All right, guys. It's 7 o'clock. We're going to call the meeting to order. People in the hallway. We're going to call the meeting to order at 7 p.m. Ask Mr. Cook to call the roll.
Mr. Parker? Here. Mr. Ellis?
Here.
Mr. Farley?
Here.
Mr. Grooms?
Here.
Dr. Houghton?
Yeah.
Mayor Pro Tem Rich?
Here.
Mr. Goodwin? Down forum?
Beautiful. We start tonight with the invocation and pledge of allegiance. For the pledge of allegiance, we have this good fellow down here. Whoever will stand up. Ready? All right, go for it.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, ma'am. We have a nice Folly Beats hat and a pin for you. All right, great. Thank you, ma'am. And now we'll have the invocation by Dr. Houghton.
Thank you for every seat and standing room that has been filled here today, for each mind and heart that fills the presence of this room. You truly know what we are aspiring to accomplish this evening. We have vision, we have ideas, and ordinances. We have a diversity of talents, abilities, and good intentions. Nothing is ever in vain, for even missteps may be utilized for good purposes. Blessing this meeting and all those that are present. Amen.
Amen.
Next is mayor's comments. The only thing I will say is that Mayor Goodwin is at a funeral, so I'm filling in tonight. Thank everybody for showing up. We haven't kicked him to the curb yet. He'll be back. So hang in there. It's my first time, so hopefully we'll get through this pretty easy. Next is going to be staff reports. I'll turn it over to Mr. Pope.
Well, the first staff report tonight is about our Arctic Avenue traffic study. This is a project we identified several years ago in the comp plan, and it's kind of been carried over through different strategic plans. And last year we put out to bid a budget of $25,000. We got 2 bids back. Both of them came in considerably higher than that when you consider the total scope of work. The bids were very dissimilar. They weren't structured the same. When we emailed those proposals out to you guys for review, and we sat down and we looked and we tried to get a really apples to apples comparison. For our $25,000 budget, bid number 1 would get us kind of a 1,000-foot overview, a very broad and general concept, but not any detailed drawings, design, engineering, work, that sort of thing. Bid number 2 very thoroughly itemized all the things necessary to take their conceptual idea to the final product, and that came in, I believe, around 150. So I believe it came in about $115,000. And parsing through the first bid, which gave us that base number, and then lots of add-ons, try to make them, as close as possible. We got one bid at 115, and the other bid at 75.5. And that 75.5 is just a best guess estimate, taking their itemized options to compare the two. So based on the 2 bids we received, our $25,000 budget doesn't appear to be sufficient. So we're asking you guys to just let's close that bid, let these bidders know that we're not going to go out to the project right now. And in the budget proposal, which you've seen, which will be up for a vote in June, we're asking the city to allocate another $125,000 to the project, so we can rebid it after July 1st with a budget of $150, and hopefully get a few more bids in there to compete. We had a lot of interest in it, and then when we told people the budget, we only got 2 proposals.
Yeah. All right. Any questions?
somebody like a motion to close that bid and not award it?
I'll make a motion that we close the bid and not award it.
Second.
Roll call. Mr. Reeves?
Yes.
Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes.
All right, that passes. We have another 5 bidders.
All right, next on the list is Mr. Jerry Glass, Folly Beach Reef Park.
Hi guys, thanks for hearing me out. I'm coming to you with a proposal to increase the paid parking rates within the city of Folly Beach. I have provided 2 proposals for you to consider. Of course, it'll be up to you guys what the actual amount will be. But basically, I'm going to present some support for the increase, some projections that I made with the numbers that I have, and then I'll answer your questions that you may have. So support for the rate change was there has not been a rate increase since we started back in 2019. The rates have stayed consistent at $2 an hour or $10 for all day parking for most places within the city. There are a little different rates on Arctic Avenue and then at 7th East and 3rd Block West for those parking lots. But the rates have stayed pretty consistent for the last 3.5 years or so. And then of course the hourly frontline wages for staff, not only mine, but across the country has increased dramatically. And it's important to pay the people that make you look good. And I gave my staff, all of my staff raises. And this increase will help kind of absorb those costs, offset those costs. I think it's important to hire and retain people that have given us the success that we've had here in the last 3.5 years. So that will help to offset those costs. Kind of in line with that, due to inflation, costs for all of our supplies have increased across the board, from pay station paper, which is a very specific type of paper. It's almost like it's a thermal paper that we can only get from certain vendors, and they kind of control the prices with their suppliers as well. Toilet paper, we go through about 400 to 450 rolls of toilet paper a month, and the costs for those have gone through the roof as well. And then gas, everybody knows the gas costs. We're not driving any less. If anything, we're driving more this time of year, and that's just something that we have to eat as well. Another point, as of the end of April, all 26 of our pay stations are going to be out of warranty or are out of warranty. Any of those costs to replace the parts within those pay stations is not cheap. We actually have 2 machines down now on Arctic due to major part failures that we're going to have to replace. I initially budgeted about $4,400 for those parts for the year, and with those 2 parts, we're going to exceed that budget. That's not something that you typically plan for, to have 2 major failures. So the program is going to have to take all those costs as well, now that those machines are out of warranty. We have added fresh signage, and we're going to continue to add new signage. We haven't done a full change in about 3 years, so those all need to be changed as well. And then the ongoing project with Public Works and those guys to do the showers, the trash caddies, the beautification, try to replace all the walkovers, the shell sand, all that kind of stuff. It's all gone up, and yeah, like I said, this rate increase will kind of help to offset those changes. The impact to the stakeholders, residents on the island, obviously they park free. This is not going to change for them at all. Our proposed new rates will be in line with neighboring communities. I would compare Folly Beach to Surfside Beach and Carolina Beach as well, as far as the size goes. And I'll have those rates for you later on in just a second. And there have been new time limits on Center Street, but the parking there remains free. We don't plan on changing that anytime soon. Here's the comparable rates. I'm proposing a 50 cents per hour increase to $1 an hour increase. You can see the comparable rates there. Surfside is held steady at about $2 an hour or $10 all day, which is what we're at currently. And they've been there for at least 6 years. And then Carolina Beach, they're a little more ambitious. They do $5 an hour or $25 all day. So I'm trying to get somewhere kind of in between those two places. Here's the comparison between the gross revenue of the last 3 years and what I have projected for this year. I only projected a 5% increase this year, which we are seeing hold steady. So, you know, the increase will kind of help us on our upward trajectory that we've been on the last 3.5 years. This is the current rate structure. As I was saying, it's $2 per hour up to $10 all day at most of the beach accesses. This rate increase will affect all the beach accesses with the exception of 2nd East and 3rd West, the washout, and then Arctic Avenue as well. Proposal number 1 is a 50 cents increase per hour to $10.50 all day. I have estimated this is going to be the 11%. Am I running out of time? The 11% increase to about 1.4. The second proposal will be